It's in the Dana Evans range. I will tell you that.
I said that. Did I not tell you that yesterday, Kenny, when we visited, that you were in the E.J. Borghetti, the longtime Pitt SID, fantastic guy at Pittsburgh, always takes care of us, asked yesterday, does Kenny Pickett lead Packer and Durham in appearances? And I said, he's close to Dana Evans. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. And then you asked me about, why I came back. I should have just said I want to be on the show a couple more times. I can't get enough of you guys. So
don't lie, Kenny.
Okay,
come on, you're above that.
Yeah, don't lie about that.
You got experience now. You're in a leadership role. You can't go down that path, for crying out loud. But by the way, it's got to be cool though to have a spring, right, compared to what everybody was going through last year. And you got to be thrilled with the fact that, you know what, when you toss that biscuit all over the yard, man, you got guys that can catch the football. That it should be a fun offensive football team in 21.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we added guys that I haven't played with really, extensively in Lucas Kroll and Jalen Barden, and having another year with Jordan Addison in the spring, and then we have our veteran guys with Wayne and Shockey and Tayseer Mack. So I think we have a lot more pieces than I've ever had here, and I'm really excited to get to the season.
All right, let's get to Saturday in this respect, because Pittsburgh's part of our ACC spring football triple header here on the network on Saturday. We talked to Coach Whipple, Roddy, and Eric and I did yesterday, and we talked to you, and it sounds like there's some real negotiations that's been going on here as to how much string you're going to get on Saturday based on these Roman Empire scrimmages that Narduzzi's had leading up to this. So how much do you want to play? How much are you negotiating to play? How tough a conversation has that been for Saturday?
I mean, I would play the whole game if it was up to me. We'll see. We'll see. I think they told me 3 plays, but if I get a first down, I think I'll stay in there and keep it going. So we'll see what happens.
Now, you got to understand, today is a coach's birthday. So, I'm not sure from a negotiating standpoint, maybe you come in there with a dozen cupcakes or something. I don't know what you're going to do. But you might be able to get on his good side. The fact that you're back, Kenny, let me tell you something. You can't deliver anything else to Pat other than the fact that you got another year eligibility. You said, hey, listen, I'm coming back. And with that said, why? Man, I mean, you could have said, hey, you know what? I'm ready to go to the next level. So why come back for another year?
I think it was a family decision, and Coach Narduzzi and Coach Whipple are really a part of my family, and I took their word and their advice that they gave me to heart, and I went back home for a couple of days and had a chance to talk to everybody in my tight circle. And at the end of the day, I just didn't like where I was in the draft. I feel like I'm a much better player than what I was projected, so I'm excited to come back and aim for winning a championship here and just improving that.
Kenny, there's also the value of getting better, right? And sometimes when you're the starting quarterback in a major college program, it puts you in a position to evolve even to another level, especially with a guy like Mark Whipple. I mean, what's he meant just in terms of the last couple of years and your progress as a quarterback?
Yeah, he's been huge in my progress and my development. I think he really turned my career around. When he came in, I watched a lot of tape, from his time at UMass, and I couldn't wait to play in his offense. I knew their quarterback at the time, Andrew Ford, so I got on the phone with him as soon as I knew Coach Whipple was going to be our guy. And he told me everything that he taught him along the way, and I was just really excited for it. So obviously another year under his wing and learning the pro-style NFL offense, I think it'll only help me in the future.
Kenny, I know it's the ultimate team game, but it seems different with Pittsburgh for going into 21. I mean, a year ago, assuming we're going to have a season, I mean, really all the hype was, man, have you seen that defensive line at Pittsburgh? Goodness gracious, they got NFL dudes left and right. And, of course, we're going to find that out a week from now when the NFL draft starts. But it was almost as if the offense got overshadowed a bit based on the hype. And, again, I know it's the ultimate team game. Seems now as we fast forwarded to this year, it's going to be the Pitt offense that people are talking about, maybe more so than the defense. Does it feel that way to you?
I'm really not sure. I try not to pay too much attention to the media. I know we had a lot of really good players on defense, and we have a lot of really good players on offense. So I think when we're all healthy and we're all together, I think we're gonna be a really tough team going into this season. It was really competitive spring, and it'll be a really competitive summer and summer camp. So we'll just keep that rolling until September comes.
All right. Jordan Addison had a phenomenal season a year ago. You've mentioned Tayseer. Who else has caught your eye here in the spring? Give us a guy or two maybe, Kenny, we're not thinking about? And by the way, it could be in the offensive line too, because I know you lost some valuable guys there.
Right. I'll start with the offensive line. I think Marcus Minor coming in as a transfer really, really helped us. We didn't really skip a beat up front, I'd say, when he came in. And obviously Lucas Kroll, a tight end that we really haven't had a big time tight end since I've been here, and he's come in and done an unbelievable job. Receivers, some guys that stepped up. I'd say Jalen Barden, first guy that comes to mind. He's a really explosive player. Jared Wayne has had a really, really good spring. So I think the veteran guys took a step, and we had some young guys step up. So we have a lot more pieces now, and I'm looking forward to just more development this summer.
Kenny, when we get to the summer, and it's going to be a goofy question, and I know you said, hey, we don't pay a whole lot of attention to the media. It's about what happens in the locker room. I get all. I totally understand that. But in the summer, when you got your feet up a little bit and you're just trying to get away from football, just to clear your head before the season gets cranked up, and all these magazines start popping out, do you not just grab one or two and flip through that thing and see where they've got Kenny Pickett listed as far as quarterback ratings, or what they think about Pitt as far as what they think they're going to do in the Coastal, or, hey, are we in the top 25? Or does that not – do you not get the itch just to pick one of those bad boys up when you're putting your feet in the water a little bit and just see what everybody's talking about?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever read a magazine, but definitely on Twitter I'd see something pop up, and I'll read a few things. So it just adds to the fire, adds to the chip on my shoulder and the chip on the our team. So it's all positive. At the end of the day, you can turn it into a positive. So it's all about perspective and how you look at it.
Let me tell you something. Phil Steele is not going to be happy you're not reaching in the pocket for $18 to get that magazine and you're stealing off Twitter. I'll tell you that right now. That goes back to getting a quality education and being a smart guy. Hey, you know what? I get that free information. I'm not coming off the hip for $18 for a magazine. I hear you. That's experience.
I like that. Hey, Kenny, we were talking yesterday, and I think Pac would be interested in hearing this. Just kind of take us through the summer, because the evolution of playing quarterback in major college football and wanting to go to the next level. I mean, you talked about going to California to work out for a couple of weeks, doing some things with the Manning camp. I mean, all these little elements that go into developing your game. Take us through kind of what the offseason and summer is going to be like. I know you mentioned Jordan Palmer and then some things with the Manning camp tour. How valuable is that kind of stuff in an offseason for you?
It's huge. It's really valuable. I just want to learn from as many people as I can. And I was talking to Jordan, during the season, and he asked me to come out and train. It's a no-brainer. He's got a ton of great guys out there, and he's a really bright mind in QB development. So I'll go out to his place in LA for a few days. I have the Manning camp in July. And then on top of that, it's just working with my team and getting more timing down, more continuity with the guys I'll be playing with. I think it's a great opportunity to watch film on opponents. I think I spend a lot of time in the winter and spring days, studying myself and what I can improve on. And close to the season, I can start getting a jump on the teams that we're going to be playing early on. So I think there's a lot of areas that you can improve on, and a lot of things that you can do in the summer. Definitely not be bored. So it's just another phase of the off season that we'll have to check off here soon.
So what was the one thing that popped off in that conversation to you that you learned that you said, you know what, I really do need to work on that? That you came to grips by, because, listen, if you're a quarterback, you got to be mentally tough and get the fact that, guess what, ball's in my hand, I got to make plays. But so what's one of the things you learned from those conversations that you went, you know what, he's right, I got to work on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the biggest thing was pocket mechanics, pocket footwork. I think, when I have my feet under me, I can get my feet in the right, position. I'm one of the best in the country, and I'm athletic enough to get outside of the pocket and make all the plays. So, this spring was a huge emphasis on that. I'd add in the red zone too. We have to be better in the red zone. It starts with me being more accurate down there and giving our guys a chance to make plays. So, I think I took a step in both directions, and as a team, we took a step in the right direction in the red zone. We'll just continue to work on it, and I got a few more months to get to where I need to be.
Well, I'll tell you this, you can talk about pocket mechanics and things like that. We know one thing, Pac, this is physically as tough a guy as taking snaps in the league. You proved it last year. From a health perspective, the spring has had to be a huge benefit. Just to get back to 100% with all the stuff you played with last year. Once you had the ankle injury at Boston College, you were fighting for it every time you went out there, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a really tough back half of the year. I was, very uncomfortable with the ankle. It was something that I just had to learn how to deal with, and it was something that lasted a lot longer than I was expecting it to. Even into the offseason, I couldn't really train as hard as I wanted to, running-wise. I could lift pretty heavy, but making cuts and planting on it was pretty difficult. So it took a lot longer than I thought, and a lot longer than I expected. So having a full spring where I was healthy and getting back to playing my style was huge for me.
Kenny, the birthday boy, Pat Narduzzi, is going to obviously count on you for a lot of things, but that's also going to include leadership, things that we don't see on the field. And you've had a lot of great leaders on that football program since you've been there. From a leadership standpoint, who jumps out at you that you say, you know what, I'm going to take something I learned, maybe it was something at a practice, maybe it was something said in the locker room, maybe it was something that you saw walking to class. I mean, you tell me, from a leadership standpoint, what do you do as far as falling in that category that you understand that guess what I say really does matter for this team?
Right. I mean, I think I've had a lot, like you said, a lot of great leaders before me come through this building. And I think I've taken a piece, of each leadership style from everyone that I've come in contact with. But I would just say that the biggest thing for me is learning how, people react to different leadership styles. There's a lot of guys that you can get on and they'll respond better that way. There's a lot of guys you have to pat in the back and just be positive. So, I feel like I've done a good job of learning, how each guy responds and, in order to get the most out of them. So I think leadership style, it's my responsibility to do that. So, I'll continue to develop these really good relationships I have with, our guys and, move forward.
All right, here's the deal, though, Pack. This is, while Kenny's been there, he's playing a lot of games, a lot of numbers, a lot of stats. He's not the oldest guy on the team. John Patrician's how old, Kenny? What's Patrician, 24, 25? How old's that guy?
I don't want to get it wrong. He'll get mad at me. I think it's 24. I'm almost positive it's 24. Okay. I mean, I think he's going into his 7th. I think Trey Tipton's going into his 7th year as well. I think he's 24 too. So, I mean, like I said, I told you, I'm a 5th year. I'm a redshirt senior. So, I got the COVID year counts as my redshirt year. So,
Pack, is that unbelievable what we're dealing with?
Well, I don't know. We just had a player on this week from North Carolina that's 25, right?
Yeah,
in lacrosse.
That's true. Yeah,
just saying. I
Kenny,
mean, hey, whatever makes you happy, young, man. Listen, as
Kenny,
long as
as
long as that scholarship still works. I mean, listen. If I was on scholarship, I'd be walking around 60 years old on campus if they let me. Just telling you, life is good on college campuses, man. That's why we're glad you're back. Really, seriously, you're a terrific player. We've had a great deal of fun with you on the show. And, again, this ACC quarterback core in this league this year will be loaded again. But there are going to be a lot of people talking about the QB at Pitt. And we wish you nothing but health for the entire season. Look forward to our next conversation with you when we get a little bit closer to football season.
And here's the thing. I think we can safely say this now that Dana Evans has been drafted by the WNBA. Kenny Pickett is the active career leader among student athletes in Packer and Durham appearances.
Well, I got to look that up. This is number 4
we double
for
check
Kenny.
it.
Well, yeah, I mean, being accurate would help.
We got 4
Wes,
for Kenny.
This is number 4 for Kenny. We'll have to double check on
All right. All right, man. We'll see you Saturday. Thanks for the time. Be well, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it.